Today I'm going to talk about the development of winged aircraft, but not all aircraft because that would have to factor in the Apollo missions and helicopters and gyroscopers and etc. And this would take hours. And when I say winged aircraft, I mean fixed aircraft because helicopters also technically are winged aircraft. I will also be flying some of the aircraft that I talk about, but some of them I could not download from the website that I use. So that's what you'll be seeing most of the time. And let's get into it. So, number one, the first successful airplane was built in 1903 by the Wright brothers. Those 12 seconds of flight were developed over the years into what we have today. It wasn't easy though. As stated before, the flight only lasted 12 seconds, and there were big differences from the planes like the Piper Cub. For one, the elevator was in the front of the aircraft, and the plane had no ailerons. Instead, the plane's wings were warped to roll. The plane also did not have a fuselage. The Wright Flyer is now on display at the Smithsonian. Only one was built, but many replicas have been made over the years. Next up, we have the Wright Flyer Model F. Here we're getting closer to the modern appearance of aircraft today. There are a few major differences, but the main difference is that it was the first airplane to have a fuselage. This earned its nickname the Tin Cow. From here on out, planes now have fuselages. Now we have a plane that is looking like modern airliners today, the DC-3. The DC-3 was the first successful airliner. It was also a big helper in World War II. It had a max cruise speed of 150 miles per hour, which is about the same as a Piper Archer. The cost, however, was not the same. If you count inflation into how much it cost in the 1930s, it would come out to $2,187,800 today. This is 4 times the cost of an Archer, but is considered that you could sit 7 times the people. It is a fair deal. There were a total of 607 built and stopped production in 1950. Now let's move on to supersonic and fighter aircraft. First off, we have the F-100, the first supersonic fighter jet. Just to make sure there's no confusion, this is the first supersonic fighter jet, not the first supersonic fighter. The first supersonic fighter was the Bell X-1. Okay, now that we got that clear, let's get to the facts. The F-100 was a revolutionary aircraft because it was a jet, and jet engines are more efficient and use less fuel. This will make more things possible, like, for example, superior speed and faster travel time. Being supersonic obviously meant that there were fast and meant less time it took to travel, and they had the ability to catch up to slower aircraft. There were a total of 2,292 built and were put out of service in the 1970s. This is the big one. The fastest wing aircraft ever made in the world, the North American X-15. The X-15 was and still is the number 1 fastest winged aircraft in the world. This thing went a whopping 5.89 Mach, or 4,520 miles per hour. That's pretty fast. There were a total of 3 variations of this aircraft developed starting in 1959, and 12 different pilots flew the plane with a combined 199 flights. The X-15 retired in 1968. Finally, we have the F-35, the most modern fighter today. Even though there are some major criticism about this plane, it is, in my opinion, the best there is. So far, there is a total of 625 plus aircraft made as of 2021. I would say more, but as this video is already pretty long, I have to call it quitsies, and I didn't get to the aircraft like the F-22 Raptor and the SR-71 Blackbird. but it is what it is. Thanks for watching, and I hope you were informed.